Hello out there, this is Wakeangel2K1 coming at you with some more Jakks Pacific Sonic toy reviews. The latest wave is out and the two new characters for it are Classic Sonic and Supershadow. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit underwhelming, but hey, you know, these are really popular characters and you want to get the popular ones out first, but hey, let's hope that if this line stays popular, they'll come up with the more obscure ones later on, like the Chaotix, the Babylons, Blaze, Silver, you know, like a whole bunch of other characters that I'd like to see. The back of the boxes are almost the same, except if you go way up at top, you see the difference between the modern and classic logos, and they show previews of what the other figures in the wave will look like. In this case, we have Tails, which has, it is a legitimate different figure slightly because the tails are in a different pose from last time, and Knuckles. I'm not sure if there's anything different with the Knuckles figure. So let's get these guys out of the packaging and see how they are. Just for the record, be a little careful in getting these guys out of the packaging. I'm pretty sure if you try to pull them the wrong way, they will break before the internal bubble lets them go. Like, what is up with this? Ugh. Look at that! You see what I'm talking about? What are they sticking these things in with? Like, I understand you don't want the figure to jiggle around the packaging too much, but I think... You think that's an aggressive enough holder? Like, the thing freaking turned itself inside out before it let the figure go. And here they are out of that packaging, which fought me tooth and nail. Epic tales will be told of the battle of the bubble. So, here is Classic Sonic and Modern Shadow, of course with the retcon that everybody's the same height these days instead of just letting the modern characters be taller. So, of course, they are not properly in scale with each other. You got to get the 2.5-inch scale figures if you want generation scaling. But let's hope that this guy is better than this. Actually, I messed around with him after I got him out of the package. I can say he is. But let's take a look at them one at a time, starting with Supershadow, because, well, there's less to compare him to. Alright, so we have good old Supershadow. He has I think he's giving us a shadow smile, and that he is not actively frowning. So, yeah, he's pretty happy right now. He still has that really nicely sculpted chest floof. In fact, I think this might just be the exact same mold as the original Shadow figure, just cast in a different color plastic. Except it looks like his hand is a little bit different. Yeah, like, I don't know, I think it's the same mold, they just kind of came out a little bit differently. This one's fingers are a little bit more tightly curled. Although I do notice that the original Shadow, mine had slightly wobbly leg joints. This one's leg joints are not wobbly at all, so that's good. He is still kind of difficult to get standing because he has the largest head that goes farther back than any other characters, but if you futz around with his hips, he actually does hold his standing pose, even if I jiggle the table a little bit. So, Supershadow is better at standing than regular Shadow. He has gained power. Oh, actually, you know what? There is one thing I forgot to do when I read the packaging. It's his character bio. Already the ultimate life form, Supershadow can take things a step further. His speed and power are limitless. Limitless. Supershadow comes with another one of the Chaos Emeralds. This is the red one. I haven't been keeping track, but apparently that means we are only 3 down. And, again, they are a bit overly large. You might want to call these the Super Emeralds if that helps you live with yourself a little better. But aside from that, the cut is very nice. It's just that the hole they made at the bottom so you could put them into playsets and stuff is visible in there. People with their loud car engines. So, I mean, it is cool that you can actually get the emerald to stand. That's fun. But yeah, that's that. So, yeah, a little bit of underspray on that right foot there. You can see some of the red showing through, but, you know, a little bit of underspray in the bottom of the feet. Plus, I got a blotch on his eye right there. Actually, that's a scratch. He got scratched. But, yeah, other than that, it's all good. Articulation is the same as any other Shadow figure. Head rotates, pin discs for the shoulders, no elbows, ball joints for the wrists, but they're restricted, so they're basically swivels, pin discs in the hips, and these, they did make a little tighter. In fact, it almost feels like they are detented. Like, they seem to snap in a straight position and in a straight up position. Although they do stay in the in-between spots. It's just that when you reach a certain area, yeah, that happens. Knees are also pin discs. So he has a thigh swivel, knee swivel, and he has a ball jointed ankle. And like I said, the joints on this figure are a bit tighter, so you can get him to stand straight. I've never really been able to get my regular Shadow figure to stand straight for an extended period of time, but thanks to those ball jointed ankles, you can always get him into a more splayed, wide-legged stance where you can distribute his weight more evenly, and then that holds up just fine. So, you know, like, he's a little hard to get standing stock straight, but it's not like you can't stand him at all. Okay, so that was the Super Shadow figure. I'd easily recommend him. He's a fantastic toy. If you want the Super variants, of course, but other than that, he's basically just Shadow. So, Classic Sonic, it comes with a spring. Yep, that is a spring, alright. It has a peg hole in the bottom, so you can put it into the diorama displays just fine, but doesn't really do much. Yeah, it's just a display piece. They actually did give it a spring in there, but it's not like it does anything for him. Articulation, you have the head swivel, ball jointed shoulders, pin disc shoulders, ball jointed wrists, pin disc hips, pin disc knees, although the knees are almost lost in the sock cuff, and ball jointed ankles. And I feel like his balls have the most range. His ball jointed ankles have the most range among any of the Sonic figures that have come out so far. So yeah, you can easily get him into poses. Woo. Yeah. His left hand is a holding thing hand, and the right hand is a solid fist. So if you have rings from your playsets, you can stick them in that hand, no problem. And again, my Mighty the Armadillo figure had some loose hip joints that made it difficult to get him to stand, but Classic Sonic does not appear to have this problem. His hips hold up just fine, so I'm able to get him standing very easily. Does Classic Sonic have a description? The world's fastest blue hedgehog. Sonic runs at ultra-high speeds and can curl into a spiky ball to protect himself and attack enemies. So, a pretty basic description, but what else would you give to the guy who was the genesis of the entire franchise? Comparing him to my wobbly-legged Mighty, you can see these guys stand pretty effectively next to each other, and I like that it looks like his arms are different parts than Mighty's. So it's not like they just reuse his arm parts. So, you know, that's good. And here you can actually see some differences in their faces. So, you know, not full-on reuse of parts. Of course, reuse of parts would be a little more difficult in this situation since Mighty has different ears and a whole shell thing going on. And they have different hands, too. If you want your Sonic to have two fists, or if you want to give your Mighty a holding thing hand, or have Sonic waving, the sculpt of their gloves is the same, so you can swap those parts around. They're all ball joints, so they should be compatible. Just, you know, that's just a customizer of me talking. Close up, he has a weird mouth, like, I think they were going for, like, having an open mouth smile, but you could still see his teeth. But the way that that line of red is just painted in there kind of makes it look like he bit his tongue. Yeah. But, you know, aside from that, the sculpt is actually really nice. It just, like, it looks a little bit weird how you have like two balls intersecting, so the bottom of his head looks unusually flat. But aside from that, everything is well represented. He has excellent sculpt, excellent paint detailing. Like, it's hard to screw up Sonic because Sonic is such a basic character design, but yeah, they did a pretty effective job. And you know what's gotta happen now. We gotta compare him to other classic Sonic figures. So we have the Jazzwares 4-inch Classic Sonic and Toomey's Ultimate Classic Sonic, which, as you may remember, was 6 inches tall. Alright, I don't think it's fair to compare him to the Ultimate Classic Sonic because it's a smaller scale, and this is kind of, you know, the Ultimate Classic Sonic figure with swappable parts and a ball-jointed waist and both elbows and knees, and like there's really no way that these guys can compete with him. So yeah, this isn't the best Sonic figure ever, but you know, like if you want a Sonic figure that actually scales with other toys in the Sonic franchise, then either one of these is going to be the one that you're going to compete with. So Ultimate Classic Sonic, you are perfect, but you are in a class of your own. So, putting him next to the Jazzwares, we see he's actually slightly shorter. That's surprising, genuinely so. And, well, I gotta say, it's kind of hard to decide who did this better, because, I mean, I guess they did go up, they did give the slightly lighter shade of blue to the Jakks figure. Although, like, it comes down, do you prefer your figure to have elbows or knees? Because, like, one has knees, but no elbows. Other has elbows, but no knees. So, although the ball-jointed ankles do objectively help because they help him keep a flat-footed stance in more action poses, while the lack of them does make it a little bit more difficult to put this one in any kind of real, anything like, other than, I guess I could pull some stuff off, but you gotta, it's a careful balance. You gotta make sure at least one of his feet is totally flat. I guess the joints are a little bit more sightly here too, because here they smoothly blend in, while here they obviously stick out and are more joints. But then you can also see that this Sonic is better at getting his arms down by his side, while this one, the arms just kind of stick out more. So like, getting into a relaxed stance. Yeah, like, it's really hard to decide which Sonic is better. I mean, you can even see, like, the way the neck connects. You can see on the Jazzwares Sonic, his head is much more circular, and his neck connects to his torso without compromising that circularity, whereas this one has an unnaturally flat base of the head. So, you know, like, it's really hard to decide who did this better, because they both seem to have pulled it off really well. They're different from each other, but I feel bad trying to say one is objectively better than the other. I will say that if you're too young to have one of these figures because you weren't around in the mid-2000s collecting the mid-2010s collecting toys, then this is a perfectly fine figure, which is great. I would hate if this figure was terrible and you had to go on aftermarket, find this on the aftermarket and Sculpt. Although, I will note that this one has a hollow head to prevent top heaviness, while this one appears to have a solid sculpted head, and it's relying on better engineering in the joints to stay standing. So this one might have to deal with top heaviness issues. As you can see, he's been falling over even though his joints are pretty solid. So yeah, like, the big thing was that I'm like, oh boy, I'm going to compare him to my Jazzwares figure, and we're going to have a battle royale and see who comes out on top, and really, it's hard to say. I mean, I guess his paint job is marginally better, but, you know, like, I can't say that they did it so much better than Jazzwares, because the Jazzwares one holds up. The Jazzwares 4-inch Classic Sonic figure actually holds up better than most of the Jazzwares figures do. And this is different, but, you know, par. So ultimately, I'd have to say they get an equal grade. I gotta say, he came out a heck of a lot better than that pre-posed abomination that was a 2.5-inch Classic Sonic. Hopefully, the next time they release a 2.5-inch Classic Sonic, the one that comes with the chili dog, he will be in a better stance, so he won't look so pre-assumed. And I have my Princess Sally figure here just to flex the couple. Yeah. Although, now, there's a part of me that's always going to say, like, yeah, but that's not the Sad AM Sonic. He's different looking because he's not Sad AM. Wakeangel2K1, you want to make a Sad AM Classic Sonic, don't you? You're going to fall down that rabbit hole. Oh, yes you are. Yes, do it. Do it. Am I even speaking on my own behalf anymore? I think I should end this video before I completely fall into my own psychosis. This is Wakeangel2K1, signing off.